Hey, 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 Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. But you can call me Pajama Grandma. Most of my friends do. Now, I will confess I am not in pajamas right now. I'm actually in yoga clothes or go for a walk at the state park clothes, I guess is more the truth than yoga clothes. But I wanted to pop in and do a really quick version of the restaurant and bar owner webinar. Super quick web class before the dinner hour. Now, I know Mondays tend to be a really quiet day, at least in restaurants here in my hometown, but they aren't everywhere. And since this goes out everywhere, I want to be a little respectful of that. Again, I will create a recording so that it's available later on so that people can watch it when it's convenient for them. I have found that busy restaurant owners are really hard to pin down and find a time that they can listen to a message in the form of a web class or a webinar. But this information is so important and so critical to the operation of your business so that you can actually free up some of your time, take off some of those many hats you're wearing. If you're like me in our restaurants and bars, I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off most of the time. And that actually led to me having a sudden cardiac arrest, which is no way to run a business, because when you have a health challenge, it's all over. You're not running your business. It's running itself. And if you don't have it set up so that it can run itself, it can be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to my PowerPoint. Let's go ahead and decide how we want to share that. I think we'll share the whole screen. I will pop down there and I will jump right into it. I'm going to skip around. I'm not going to show you everything today because I want to make sure we can get through it. And I know that the dogs are going to want to eat at 5 o'clock. They have a strict schedule in their own minds. And so they'll start barking and whining and raising a ruckus. And if there's no one else home to feed them, they expect me to take over and do the job. Kind of like your restaurant, right? You're expected to do pretty much everything. So how do you get customers beating a path to your door on autopilot without putting more on your plate? Because if you're like me, you're already wearing 20 hats, or if you're like I don't have my restaurant anymore. But when I did everything. Now, that wasn't by design, that was by choice. And it's hard for me to admit that that was by choice, but it was by choice. I've since gotten a lot smarter in terms of how I set up systems and how I set things up and how I delegate and teach people how to do things so that I don't have to do everything myself, because that is not a very healthy way to live. And that isn't why I started my business in the first place. I started it so that I could spend more time with my family. And what I found is I was doing just the opposite. Is that anything you can relate to? Well, then you probably want to hang on and listen to my weird secret that had us turning folks away at the door so the fire marshal wouldn't shut us down. The fire marshal actually showed up 3 times in 1 week at my last bar and restaurant and said, you know what, you got too many people in here. Either you get them out or we're going to shut you down for a violation. So we had to actually put a bouncer at the door to count people as they came in so that we wouldn't have too many people on the premises for what our fire permit would allow. Well, and how you can ethically knock it off in less than 10 minutes to fill your bar or restaurant every night of the week too. Not just Fridays and Saturdays, but every night of the week. I want to make a quick earnings disclaimer. You're not going to add 10,000 new customers the first day lining up at your door. That would be ridiculous. And even if it were to happen miraculously, I guarantee your business wouldn't be able to handle it. There aren't very many restaurants that could actually handle the influx of 10,000 new people in a single day. There are some venues that could do that, but not very many. We're talking a stadium or a big institution. At first, I just wanted to get some new customers coming to us. I wanted to get customers on autopilot. I had heard that it was possible with the internet and with technology to actually get customers to come to me, to come to my business without me having to do all the crazy things that we were normally doing to get customers to come to the restaurant. You know, all of the discounting, all the couponing, all of the direct mail ads that we were flushing money down the toilet with, all the demos. I had Italian food manufacturing business, and we did something called demos. And a lot of times we would do that in the restaurant too. We would give away samples of different products or different specials that we were trying to promote at the business to keep our costs down and do all those crazy things that you do in the restaurant industry. But I figured if that was true, if I could get just 10 customers a day coming to me, that would be 300 new customers a month. And that was my sweet spot. That was my original goal. I currently have 17 different businesses, each adding between 10 and 344 people per day, customers per day to their business. How would that impact your business if you had between 10 and 500? And I by far don't have the most number of people coming to any of my businesses a day. I'm sure there's other people out there and other businesses out there, and actually not in restaurants, but in different type businesses. I think for restaurants, we probably are the best performing group out there that has people coming to restaurants and bars. But there are people, and there are certain coaches and things that add 10,000 or 15,000 people a day to their lists or their lead. Some network marketing companies do that. I think Tony Robbins probably does that. Some really big name people are definitely adding more than 344 customers a day, but they're not necessarily customers. They're just leads to their list or their lead magnet. Thomas was one of our first businesses to test Customer Catcher for his restaurant. Here's what he had to say. In just 7 months, our worst performing restaurant became the most profitable. What started as a test has been rolled out in all our locations and put our expansion plans on steroids. Tom Thomas. And Tom's restaurant, actually, they started out with 6 restaurants. We started in 2, and they have now expanded to 15 locations. I'm going to ask as I jump into this that you promise me you will not use the things I'm going to teach you in this little web class for evil. You'll only use them to make your place fantastic and get really good results for yourself. But you won't use some of the things, because some of the things I'm going to teach you could be used to hurt your competitors or hurt other business owners around you. And I want to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we can get everything we want without having to hurt anybody else. So who is this for? Well, if you have a restaurant or bar business already, of course this is for you. If you don't have a restaurant or bar business yet, well, then this is for you too, because you can start your business off on the right foot. Top secret, if you have any type of business or if you want to have one, then this system is for you because you can use it for any type of business. And we put it in several different industries, not just in the restaurant and bar business. I just happen to love the restaurant and bar business because I've been involved in it for so many decades. And I know how underrepresented we are when it comes to using technology and using strategies and using the internet in our favor. And I want to make sure that that changes. What the heck is a customer catcher? And do I need one for my business? Do I need one for my restaurant? Do I need one for my company at all? And I like to show this little picture in this graphic of 2 girls, and let's say they're in high school. Now, I don't know about your high school, but I know in my high school, the girl on the left was always attracting the type of attention she wanted. She had all the dates she wanted. She was always busy and active and invited to events and experiences and things. All the guys wanted to date her and all the girls wanted to be her friend and wanted to be like her. The girl on the right, which I was probably more admittedly like than I like to admit, was getting attention, but she was attracting attention maybe in ways that weren't exactly what she wanted. And maybe she was attracting attention from people she didn't necessarily want. So it really boils down to, do you want to make more money in your restaurant? And do you want folks lining up at your door, coming to your business, ready to spend money? If the answer is yes to those questions, either of those questions, then you're in the right place. My goal for this web class is to show you that the only way for you to exponentially grow your restaurant and bar is through handling your customers on autopilot. And the only way to automate your customer handling is through Customer's Catcher. I've got a gift for everybody who stays to the end. I call it the Blue Plate Special, and I'm going to keep it as a surprise so that we can get you that at the end of the short web class. I want to ask you to pay attention, and I'm looking at my phone right now, so I'm guilty of my own rule of putting the phone in the other room. Give multitasking a rest, though. I like to think I'm the queen of multitasking, but the truth is, if I want to really get something, if I really want to absorb it and learn it and get the most out of it, I got to pay attention. And you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to your business, and you owe it to your family, and you owe it to your customers to pay attention to this, because this can really change your life. It's definitely changed mine. So who the heck am I, and why should you listen to me? As I said, my name is Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. Yep, one of those terrible long hyphenated names. But I have been and am the key player in 7 different restaurant groups, either as owner or part owner. Everything from a pizza place to a steakhouse to a comedy club. all different types of dining with the exception of fast food. I've never owned a part of a fast food restaurant or a franchise or anything like that. I've worked in various industries in the food chain, from suppliers, manufacturers, service providers, you name it. I have probably done it in the food chain. I performed most jobs and tasks in restaurants and bars, from remodeling to taking out the trash to cleaning up vomit in the restroom and everything operational, financial, ownership, managerial, you name it. I've done it in a restaurant. And that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, my forte and my background and my area of expertise is processes and procedures and systems to automate things and to create continuous improvement, to make sure that I have a quality background. I'm an engineer and have a quality background. So I'm all about what are we going to do and how do we do it so that we always get an awesome, consistent result for our customer. And as such, I found that the best way to understand a process is to actually perform it or do it alongside somebody that's doing it really closely. Because if you understand all the steps in the process, then you can make suggestions and you can see ways to improve it. But if you don't understand it and you've never done it, why should anybody listen to you about how it should be done? So that's one reason. And number two, I don't believe that I should ask anyone that works with me to ever do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. So are there some crappy jobs sometimes that have to be done in all of our businesses? Absolutely. So you know what? You roll up your sleeves, you dig in and you do them. You just get it done and you do it with people. You don't boss them around. You do it with them and show them how it should be done. I have made and saved companies, including my own, tens of millions of dollars. And I suppose now after all these years, it's probably hundreds of millions, but I haven't done the math on that, which is unusual because I like to do the math on things. These are just some shots of me and people I love and care about. Now, I want to just take a couple of minutes, and I will try to keep this brief because I tend to talk way too much, about my background and why I care about restaurants and bars getting enough customers. I was working for a large bakery in corporate America, and I got fired. Well, I got laid off, but let's be honest. If you lose your job suddenly, no matter what the reason, it feels like you got fired. So I'm driving home and I kind of knew it was coming. I kind of expected to be let go because of a lot of reasons that I understand about corporate America, but it still hurts. It still bothers you. Oh, I guess I found the other dog. It still bothers you when you get let go. And we were in a tough spot. As I'm driving home, I didn't realize I was so upset about it because I took it really well from my boss and cleaned up my office and said goodbye to everybody and was fine. And then I got in the car and the floodgates opened. I was crying and I'm trying not to cry. I'm rubbing tears off my cheeks so people in traffic don't stare too much because in that job, it was bumper to bumper traffic on the way home. But I wasn't really crying so much for losing the job. I mean, I loved that job. It was really fun. It was the most fun job I've ever had because I was the most my authentic myself there. I just was, hey, this is me. This is what I think. This is what I believe. This is how I operate it. If you like this, then here I am. And in my other jobs, I hadn't always played that role. And so it was awesome. And so I was sad to see the job go, but I was even more sad to actually see the paycheck go because my husband had recently been let go from his job. His business had actually gone bankrupt. My business, the company I was working for, it was just sold. So I was just laid off as part of a strategic restructuring. But he had gotten let go because his company actually went bankrupt. So they got no pay, no severance, no nothing. And we had just built a new house and moved into it. And he was kind of looking for a job. He was looking for a job, but he wasn't really finding anything. And it was, tough times. And we were making it. We were okay as long as I was working. But when I wasn't working anymore, I was freaking out a little bit because I didn't have a contingency plan. I knew we didn't have a contingency plan. So as I'm trying to calm myself down in the car and I'm thinking about this, I'm like, okay, well, what do I really want? I need to focus on what I want, not on what just happened, because there's nothing I can do about that. And I came to terms with, okay, well, I want to make money because I got two beautiful kids and they like to eat and my husband and I like to eat. And I'd really like to make money, but be able to hang out with my kids more. So as I continued the calm myself down process, I remembered something that my dad had taught me a long, long time ago, and I had fancified it and made it more fun for corporate America by calling it a PSDM, which stands for Problem Solving Decision Making System. And I did that so I could teach it to the people that worked with me in corporate America, and they wouldn't know that it was just something I learned from my dad when I was a little girl. And what you do is you just take a piece of paper, you fold it down the middle, you put a plus on one side, a minus on the other, and then you, if you want for extra credit, you can write the problem or the situation on top of the paper. And then you just brainstorm all the reasons you can think of. There, I got a Visa offer. Somehow I'm getting spammed on my messenger these days. TMI. So I started brainstorming as I'm driving. What are all the reasons to job hunt or focus on the business? My sister and I, this is not us pictured here, although I wish it was, we were doing a side business. We'd been doing it for, geez, I don't know, at this point, it was probably over 10 years. We'd been running a manufacturing business on the side. And I was in corporate America already when we got involved in it. And she had moved back to the area. And so we decided together that she would run the day-to-day operations of the business and I would stay in corporate America, because we had this really bad business philosophy. I'm going to recommend right now, if this is your business philosophy, throw it out the window right now and let's get you a new one. Our philosophy was make a little, sell a little, make a little, sell a little. So guess what we did? We made a little and we sold a little, and we made a little and we sold a little. Not a very powerful business philosophy or business strategy. Needless to say, none of my businesses since then have used that strategy. Sorry, super thirsty today. It's hot out. So I was faced with this, at least this is a decision I saw in my mind to kind of get clear. Do I want to go out and job hunt? Do I want to go back? Okay, I'm 40 years old at this point. Do I want to go back and have to compete against all these new, young, highly energetic, and I'm pretty good in the energy department, but somebody 20, 30 years younger than me was a lot more energetic than me. So the 21, 22-year-olds coming out of school, number one, were a lot cheaper. Number two, had a lot more energy. And fight with traffic every day, because I always worked in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is a good probably hour without traffic from my house, depending on what side of the cities my job was on. And so I had to think about that. And I already knew the answer. I already knew that I wanted to make the business. I wanted to get involved in the business and say, hey, we can grow this. We can make this support both of our families. So by the time I got home, I wasn't freaking out anymore. I was done crying. I had taken off my helmet and my hairnet and, greeted the family. And I just said, listen, here's the deal. I will look for a job, but I don't really want one. And the husband was supportive of that. And of course, the kids liked the idea, because then they would get to actually see me sometimes. I tended to work very hard and a lot and very long hours in corporate America, which turned out to be nothing compared to how many hours I worked when I went full time in my own businesses. But that is another story. But when I left the job, I was given a 2-week severance package, and I was really, really grateful for that. But it didn't take long, like 2 weeks, for us to go from just over broke to just under broke. And I was starting to get a little panicky. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? The fact is, it's pretty hard for somebody at the executive level to find another job in a week or two, unless you have a great big Rolodex. And I didn't have a great big Rolodex. I tended to stick with my organization, and I would get into a job, work really, really hard. And then about 3-4 years into it, I'd be like, okay, time to find something new. And then I would start maybe looking. Not the best strategy, but it worked for me for my career. It worked out really well, actually. But we were looking at, we were going to have to figure something out fast. We were either going to have to rob a bank, which neither of us were qualified to do, or worse, I was going to have to ask my parents for money to tide us over while we got the business going, because we had a new house, we had car payments, we had kids that like to eat. And I will tell you, I think asking my parents for money when I was over 40 years old was harder and made me feel worse than actually losing my job. Every single day I owed my parents money. I felt terrible. And I am so fortunate that I have parents that were in a position that could lend me the money and that could lend my family the money and help us in a time that we really needed it while we got our act together. Otherwise, what might have happened? We might have lost our house, we might have lost our cars, we might have lost everything. So I'm super grateful for that. But I also know what a blow my ego took and again, I guess my pride and ego. It hurt me to know that I had to go running home to my parents to have them help me to pay my bills while I built a business that I wanted to build. Now, I don't regret it now, but at the time it was very, very hard. And as I'm in the business, I'm struggling, I'm looking at bills, I'm worrying, I'm losing sleep. And one night I woke up about 2 o'clock in the morning in just a cold sweat. And it wasn't menopause yet, but could have been, I guess. I don't know, but I didn't think it was. I think it was just stress. And I remembered a conversation that I had with my dad. For about 25 years at this point, my dad had the whole family come together, and every summer we would sell fireworks. And inevitably, during the fireworks season, he would pull one of us over to he sat in this old desk chair toward the back of the fireworks stand, usually drinking a beer or something, because we used to be able to get away with that in the early years of fireworks sales. We might be known to have beers and yummy food in the back. So my dad would always pull one of us over and he'd say, Sherry, it's a feeding frenzy. And we'd look around because we'd be helping people and we'd be so busy we wouldn't notice. But you would stop, and just for a moment, you would notice that's exactly what was going on. It was like when you throw, food into the water or into a fish tank and all the fish come up and are swimming and eating. Or, when they throw that, what is that called? Chum in and get the sharks coming around. That's exactly what it was like for a couple of days around the 4th of July when you sell fireworks. It's just crazy. And it's really crazy to think that people are just going to burn all that money up like in a half an hour. It's just amazing. But I didn't lose the lesson. And when I woke up thinking this, I knew exactly what I had to do. I had to create an ongoing feeding frenzy for my business. I had to figure out how to do that. So I began looking for all the different ways that I could attract customers to my business. Some things worked really, really well. Some things were a colossal flop. And all I did was waste a ton of time, a ton of money, and worse off, my energy, because I needed all the energy I could get. So the secret to having a profitable, growing business is to get customers coming to you. Somehow that clicked in my brain, and I knew, hey, any business has to have customers. I got to have customers. I don't want to have to go chasing them. I got to get them coming to me. So how am I going to attract them to my business and come to me like everybody does for fireworks every year? I want a feeding frenzy for my business. So my secret plan was to figure out how to do that and then to use it on all of my family's businesses. We had at least 10 or 11 businesses between my family members at the time. Problem was, it was hard. It was hard to do it on autopilot. It was hard to figure out ways to automate the process and systematize the process and make it work. It took a lot of people because it took a lot of different skills and a lot of different tools and a lot of different software that had to be kind of puzzled together. And the puzzle pieces didn't always fit. We had at least 10 people working on a team to make this happen. And then the cost was expensive. It cost $35,000 to do the first one. Actually, it was $35,538, I believe, is what my accountant told me. And it took us 16 plus weeks. I put 16, but it was really closer to 6 months than it was 4. And there was a lot of trial and error. But now, what's possible now? These are some pictures of my life now, what's possible now. The cabin, my building, my house, cars, the kids, travel, my beautiful mother and grandmother, because my father has passed away. And that's just a little bit of what's possible now. But the best part of all of that, the best part of figuring this out is that I got to spend the first year of my granddaughter's life being her primary caregiver while running my Italian food business. Pretty cool, huh? Do you think you could take care of an infant to 1-year-old while running your restaurant? After 40 plus years, yeah, I know, 40 plus years, I discovered the hard way. And if if you're struggling right now, if you feel like you have to just do all these things to cut your prices and to beg customers to come into you, this is probably why. Because it was hard to do things the hard way. Remember I said we had to have 10 people at least on these teams? It's because I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I knew how to do R&D from my corporate America days. I knew how to hire and bid out jobs so I could be the project manager. But when it came to the details of designing all the things that had to go together, how to get media and where to put ads, what kind of ad copy to say, how to design and lay out ads and things, that stuff was all foreign to me. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. And analytics and programming, it was all news to me. I didn't know how to do any of it. So we had to create a team that could do all of it. And we had to piece together all kinds of different tools and software and get them trying to talk to each other so that we could sort of automate the process. It was messy. It was clunky. It was hard, took forever, and it was expensive. Wasn't exactly ideal, but it was very effective. So here's just some of the things we did early on. We did cold calling. We did store demos. We did events, banners, media ads. We sponsored events. We did flyers, which got us in trouble sometimes. We did signs, which got us in trouble sometimes. We did trade shows, billboards, TV, lumpy mail, direct mail. We did all kinds of crazy things. And then we started to get into technology. So I'm going to build a customer catcher for one lucky restaurant owner in 15 minutes right here on the webinar so you can see how easy it is now. But first, I want to share with you the 3 secrets of customers catching. Secret number 1, how to ethically steal your competitors' customers and they won't even know it hit them. Secret number 2, how to put your customer catching on autopilot with the push of a button. So simple, even my could do it. And secret number 3, how to bulletproof your restaurant no matter how many new joints open up in your area. So secret number 1, how to ethically steal your competitors' customers and they won't even know it hit them. We might be thinking, well, how will they not even know it hit them? And how can I ethically steal my competitors' customers? Well, I'm going to go through that process in a minute with you. It's a 5-step process. But first, I want to talk a little bit about how they won't even know what hit them or how they're not even going to notice if you start getting some of their customers. And here's why. Let me ask you a question. When you started your restaurant, how much market research and competitive research and analysis did you do before you decided about your current business, about your restaurant? How much did you do before you decided, your location, what kind of a restaurant you're going to start, everything? How much research did you do? Well, if you're like 97% of your peers, the answer is 0. 0 to 2 hours. That is scary. So many of us and so many people get involved in the restaurant business without doing their homework. And I really think that that's part of why so many restaurants fail. So that's why I know that they're not even going to know what hit them. In corporate America, we called this spying on the competition, but it's really just part of the business game. It's just good business to know what's going on in your environment so that you can react and behave in a way that best served your customers. I used to do something called a SWOT analysis, which is an analysis of the company I was with, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, but also the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of our competitors, of our closest competitors. Because if I know what my competitor is kind of lacking in or doesn't do a great job at, and I know I can provide that for the customers and that I want most, and that's going to give them a better experience, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to win that little bit of a competitive game. Now, here's the deal. There's plenty of business to go around for everybody, but I want as many of my ideal customers as I can get coming to my place on autopilot, right? The other important thing I want to touch on here is the power of modeling. I learned this from Tony Robbins when I was in my early 20s and I had a health challenge. He says, if you want to achieve success, all you need to do is find a way to model those who have already succeeded. And that's exactly what I did as I started to come up with this system for restaurants and bars and other businesses as well. I looked around at what was working in other industries and I applied it to my own industry, to my own business. So who wants to know the 5-step process for stealing the competition's customers? All right, let's dive in. Step number one is to find your competition. Here's the cool thing. You get to decide who you think your competition is and analyze what's going on in the market based on that. Now, you have to carefully make sure that you pick the right competitors. If you miss your number one competitor, you might not think they're your competition, but if your customers think they're your competition, then guess what? They're your competition. So if you don't know or you're struggling with this, ask your customers, ask your best customers, hey, where else do you go to eat? How often do you go there? Ask them, bribe them with a free appetizer if you have to, but get the information that you need to make a good decision. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to find out, where are they getting their customers from? Are they running ads? Are they running specials? Do they have coupons? Are they doing those direct mail flyers? Are they putting up signs in the window? Are they running special promotions or events? What are they doing? How are they getting them? Then you're going to put your business, your restaurant, in front of that same stream of traffic that's coming into their business. You're going to offer them what they want the most. That's where that competitive research and spying is coming in to play. And top 5 reasons anybody does anything is to make money, save time, avoid pain, and to gain pleasure. If you can put any of those elements into what you offer people when they come to you, you're going to win the game, because the more of those things, those little triggers you can hit for them, or status, the more people are going to come to your place over other people's. And then you just get to watch their customers flock to your place. Helena's experience. We've added 517 new and repeat customers to our restaurant since we launched our customers catcher. The goal is to add 1,000 customers, and at the rate we're going, it's looking like we'll reach this at the end of the year. Helena Salvatore. So who does this work for? What kind of a restaurant will this work for? Well, any type restaurant. If you are in doubt, if you're thinking, oh my God, my restaurant is so different, this will never work for me, go ahead and type it in the comments box and let me know. And I will send you the case study of a restaurant that this is working in, that's just like yours or very, very similar to yours. Fine dining, fast casual, any cuisine, any size restaurant, from tiny, tiny pubs and dive bars to giant institution food service places we've put this system into. It works for all types of restaurants and bars, and it actually works for all types of businesses. Any place people go to eat or drink, this will work for. Coffee or tea cafes, breweries, you name it, big or small, it works for them all. So who wants to know my favorite place to spy on the competition? It is a place called, a site on the computer or on the internet called semrush.com. And you can do some free searches every day on SEMrush. And that's what I recommend, especially if you're just if it's just you and your restaurant, if you're going to do this kind of research, you don't need to buy a membership to this. Some of these memberships for this detailed information and data can get really expensive. And if you don't need them, why would you buy it? So SEMrush, you can get all kinds of competitive data and analysis and information about the other restaurants and the other businesses in your town. You just type in the domain name of where they are. And I just searched Panera Bread. And I demo this for you, but my internet is so bad that I don't even dare. I'm lucky if I can get the whole Facebook Live done without it getting cut off, either sound or vision. So you can look up all kinds of information, where they're getting their traffic from, who they're advertising to, who they're targeting, how they're targeting, samples of their ads. Incredible tool. That is my favorite place to spy on the competition. I want to show you just quickly what we've created. We've created templates for different types of restaurants. These are 100% totally customizable templates that you can change and create for look and feel or logos or anything that you want for your restaurant. But this is just our fine dining, our fast casual template, and our sports bar template. And I think we've got, probably 12 or 13 different ones right now. I can't remember how many. I know we have a lot of different templates, but we've had hundreds and hundreds of people customize and change them to be uniquely for their restaurant. So what's your customer catcher going to look like? That's entirely up to you. So that was secret number 1, how to ethically steal your competitors' customers and they won't even know it hit them. Again, those quick steps for stealing customers: find the competition, find out who your competition is. Now keep in mind, your competition, if depending on where you live and where your business is, I live in a really small town. So sometimes, even though it's like over 100 restaurants in my small town now, sometimes another restaurant isn't your number one competitor. Sometimes People cooking at home is your number one competitor. And you have to figure out, okay, how am I going to compete against people that want to eat at home versus, the other Italian restaurant in my neighborhood or in my town? Maybe they're both your competitors, but you have to remember to think outside the box and not just consider other restaurants as competitors, but other ways that people get what you provide for them as competition as well. So you got to find out who that is, find out where they're getting their customers, put your business in front of them by offering the customers more of what they want. And that doesn't necessarily mean lower prices and more food. It just means maybe a better service or a better experience, and watch the customers flock to your place. So now you know how to ethically steal customers from your competition and they won't even notice. Let's jump into secret number 2, how to put your customer catching on autopilot with the push of a button. So simple, my 2-year-old granddaughter can do it. I'm going to tell you a little story, and then we're going to try to jump into my YouTube and see if we can keep the computer connected. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. More often these days, yes than no, but we'll give it a try. Remember I was telling you I had that health challenge a while back because of all the stress in my businesses? Well, another thing my dad taught me when I was a little girl was that there's no such thing as can't, and that anything is possible. And after this major health challenge, I needed to recuperate, recover, and make some massive lifestyle changes. And one of those massive lifestyle changes was I modeled, like Tony Robbins says, find the people that are doing what you want and model what they do. Well, the people that were doing what I want, which was keep living and live a healthy life, were exercising. And they were exercising almost every day or several days a week for sure. So I set a goal that I was going to exercise every day for a year. And my family and friends, when I told them, of course, they laughed because prior to this health event, I didn't exercise at all. I ran through my life and I ran through my job and I worked really hard. But as far as exercising for the sake of exercising in my health and taking care of myself, that was a foreign concept to me. Since I'd had kids, and since college times, I just didn't make time for myself to exercise. So me telling people I was going to exercise every day for a year, they thought that was a good joke. And that I was setting myself up for failure and it wasn't possible, yada, yada, yada. All the things people tell you when you tell them you've got a kind of big goal, and they're supportive, but they're not. They want you to go for it, but then they're also kind of scared because if you go for it and you do it and you succeed, well, what does that say about them in their life? That means they could probably do it too. And people kind of hate that. So got the usual nonsense, and they're like, oh, you can't possibly do that. Well, if anybody tells me I can't do something, guess what? It's done. Watch me. I'm doing it. I mean, if you want me to succeed or do something, all you have to do is tell me that I can't do it. And then I'm going to make sure it happens no matter what. And that's what I did with this as well. I knew that there had to be an easier, faster, better way of doing what we were trying to do with these businesses. So remember what we used to have to do, all these different things? We'd have to decide what we were going to do to promote and try to get people to be attracted to us. We'd have to find media, designs, promos, pay to run ads that we didn't have any idea if we were getting any return on those ads or not. Mostly we weren't. The newspaper ads, we would just like flush money down the toilet. But last year, a little over a year ago, I discovered a new way, and I am super duper excited about sharing that with you. I am so excited about that I actually went and became a certified partner for this tool that I'm going to share it with you as part of this customer catcher. Again, it's a separate company, but it's part of what we've built our customer catcher on top of. So we use a tool called ClickFunnels. It is a funnel, and a funnel is just the sales process. It's just a fancy way of saying your sales process. So we take the sales process. It's like taking your best salesman, which is probably you, for your business, your restaurant, and having them be available, making their best sales presentation 24/7. And that makes it sound really formal. It's not, but that's what this is like. It's like having your best salesperson 24/7, round the clock, never takes a break, never needs to smoke, never has to go to the bathroom, never needs to sleep, never needs to eat. Boom, working to bring customers to your restaurant day in and day out, every day. And it's a way with this tool, we can clone our customer catcher funnel. I showed you those funnels or those sales process pages before, like web pages. We can just clone that and then customize it. We can collect your customers. We can use this system to wow your customers and continually communicate with them and build a relationship with them so you can create customers for life. And maybe we should talk about the lifetime value of a customer for a minute. We'll talk about that down the road a little bit. But you can set this up and then have it all working on autopilot. Now, is that something that would help you? If you could get your customer attraction, your marketing, your sales, your relationship building, and that's part of the experience that you have with the customers. If you could get all of that handled automatically, would that be a valuable service for your company? Would that be a valuable thing to do for your restaurant? So this is just a quick graphic of ClickFunnels that explains what it is. Now, what I did is I put out a survey on the registration page for the webinar. You may or may not have seen it, but one lady that did see it and did fill it out was Matilda, and she owns a cafe. So we set up a customer catcher for her. Now, I was going to demonstrate it live on the webinar, and I thought I could do it in about 15 minutes. It took me a little longer than that, but not that bad, actually. But with my internet and with the service we have out here, until I move to my new location, I'm just going to have to be really creative like this. And I'm going to play you the YouTube video, and we are going to hope that it works. It worked last week. So let's go ahead and watch this. The sound will be a little weird, but I'm hoping that you'll bear with me because it's really fun to demo this for you. I need some sound, sorry.
Actually takes me to do this. Got a set of little headphones on, so I'm hoping that they work, and my microphone to try to eliminate the feedback and things that I get off of it otherwise. So here I am in my ClickFunnels account. You can see I've got lots of funnels in here, but what we're going to do is we're just going to pick one of my templates, and I'm going to show you how with the push of a button we can create a customer catcher for you. This template is called Fine Dining Customer. I just grabbed the first one that I came to. And when you do that, you then go to your Settings tab. And on your Settings tab, right below Settings, you'll see this Clone Funnel button. You push the Clone Funnel button, and as if by magic, that funnel is copied into your account. So all I have to do, if you're a customer catcher, is send you this clone funnel or a link to this clone funnel, and you can, just like I showed you with the push of a button, in under 30 seconds, have this funnel as is in your account. And then you can go about customizing it for your particular business. Now, the business that won this week and entered her business was a lady named Matilda. She's got a cafe, and it took me a little longer than 15 minutes to create this for her, given her artwork and what she wanted for designs and details. But I've got it here, and I'm just going to walk you through some of the features because I can't possibly show you how to customize everything in 15 minutes.
Okay.
I actually thought I could, but with my computer connection and trying to record simultaneously, it just...
All right. It looks like Ross is saying that my YouTube isn't working, so we're just going to take a little break in the middle of this action and check. I am going to pop over to my Be Live and see if I can't get this to show. I might have to go over to actually hop into ClickFunnels myself.
All right, here we go. Demo ClickFunnels and customer catchers. I am going to see how long it actually takes me to do this. Got a set of little headphones on, so I'm hoping that they work, and my microphone to try to eliminate the feedback and things that I get off of it otherwise. So here I am in my ClickFunnels account. You can see I've got lots of funnels in here, but what we're going to do is we're just going to pick one of my templates, and I'm going to show you how with the push of a button we can create a customer catcher for you. This template is called Fine Dining Customer. I just grabbed the first one that I came to. And when you do that, you then go to your Settings tab. And on your Settings tab, right below Settings, you'll see this Clone Funnel button. You push the Clone Funnel button, and as if by magic, that funnel is copied into your account. So all I have to do, if you're a customer catcher, is send you this clone funnel or a link to this clone funnel, and you can, just like I showed you, with the push of a button in under 30 seconds, have this funnel as is in your account. And then you can go about customizing it for your particular business. Now, the business that won this week and entered her business was a lady named Matilda. She's got a cafe, and it took me a little longer than 15 minutes to create this for her, given her artwork and what she wanted for designs and details. But I've got it here, and I'm just going to walk you through some of the features because I can't possibly show you how to customize everything in 15 minutes. I actually thought I could, but with my computer connection and trying to record simultaneously, it just takes my computer too long to get from screen to screen. But we will go ahead and walk through her funnel. And all we did, well, her funnel or her sales process or her customer capture is exactly what this is. This is a system for her to capture customers with this first page, this squeeze page. And we're going to go ahead and click on that and show you. And then we've created for her a membership site, which is a way to get customers to come back to her place at whatever frequency she chose. And we decided to offer for her, and I'll go into the details of that. I'm going to show you the page. Let's go ahead and preview this so you can see what it looks like to a customer. It's pretty simple. She didn't have her logo handy, so we just used a little lady to fill in for her logo. But these are the colors and everything she picked. And what she's offering people as an incentive to join her members club is a free pie. They come into her place and she gives them a free pie. And all they have to do to get that is enter their name and email, and now they're on her list, and she can begin sending the automated communications that we're creating for her together, that we've already created and she's just customizing actually, to follow up and to encourage people to continue to come to her business. But it doesn't stop there. We also, for her, created an upsell, which is this membership site I was telling you about. It's a sales page. And what she decided to offer as an incentive for people to come to her business was once a month, she will give whoever comes in that's a member, they can order whatever they want for breakfast, whatever they want for lunch, and whatever they want for dinner. And her menu prices are within a range that she's comfortable with doing that. Providing, one of each meal per month for her customers. And then she's also going to create a custom special dessert just for each customer every time that they join her for a meal, including these meals and other meals. So if somebody comes in for breakfast, they can get a muffin or whatever, a caramel roll or something along with their breakfast. And if they come in for their lunch and dinner, they can get, whatever she's got on the menu. But she's also going to create some special desserts that are only available to you if you're a member of the Matilda MC members only special group, because they'll have a special menu. And I guarantee those will be absolutely mouth-watering desserts that are displayed in a prominent place in order to get people to sign up for this program. We've had a couple of discussions about that, and she's really excited about some of the things that she and her friend Sandra can create to make this really special for their customers. And that's $47 a month. So we've created this and set it up as a membership site to encourage people to come back to a restaurant pretty much weekly or pretty frequently. If you're paying $50 a month and an entree or a breakfast, so $10, you're going to want to come 4 or 5 times to her place. And this works for her and her business and what she's trying to achieve with it. And she's pretty excited about it. Now, in addition to this, we also created an upsell package for her and for her business. We're going to skip to that. This is set up as a one-time offer, but what it does, and we don't have her video available yet. We didn't have it available to plug in here, so we just plugged in some random catering guy that I found on YouTube just for demonstration purposes to show you. But what she's offering is a $3,000 value package, a catered event or holiday meal for $997. But the cool thing about this is she can charge up front for this meal and plan accordingly, and they get an awesome deal. They get 2/3 off, which is an incredible deal. But she gets cash flow and money. Let's go ahead and look at this in the preview mode. For having pre-sold this, it's kind of the same principle of selling gift cards. You sell gift cards ahead of time, and there's always some percentage of those people that don't redeem them, but you want them to, because you want them to come to your business and be satisfied and have a great experience with you and your organization. And so that's what she's offering here. She's like, I can definitely do that. We can think of some really cool things to do for people and some special event type things, and for birthdays or holidays or whatever the person that buys this decides they want to do, she'll tailor make it and do a menu with them to make sure it's a memorable and special event. And so that's what she did for her upsell. And then the other pages in this funnel are just what make it work. The how to take money part, the order form, the thank you page where people can then redeem and find their programs. So I can just quickly show you that those are in here. And she just went for kind of a country, homesy, home cooking look and feel for her site. As you can see here, it's kind of the checkerboard, and then how to take money. This is automatically generated for you, so that works out really, really well and is easy. And then again, the rest of this is made up of the thank you page. I guess we missed the order page. We can go back to that. Here's the thank you page. Simple. Gives you a step-by-step what the customer needs to do. Again, her logo is not available yet. The order form, just so you know what it looks like. And there you have it. Everything's set up and everything's on autopilot. Now, in addition to this, we've got a series of emails and other communications that are built into this system for her. She's actually working on customizing those, but they would fall under this automations tab. So, for example, when someone orders, a whole series of emails can be sent out and messages sent out to continue to communicate with the people that join her club. And we can do the same thing for you. We've got all of these. We've got several series of emails set up in advance. So all you have to do is plug in your information, and you can use these same emails with your details to continually communicate with your customers on autopilot. So there you have it. That's all there is to setting up Customers Catcher on top of your ClickFunnels account. If you have any questions, let me know.
We're adding about 10 people per day to our system. It's making the slow nights fun and kicking our cash flow in the ass. We're profitable for the first time every night of the week. We used to count on the weekends to cover the weekdays. Jake Taylor. I don't know if your business is like Jake's, but I've been involved in several businesses where Mondays and Tuesdays, we just wanted to close the doors because it was so quiet and so slow. I'm going to pop over to my Be Live and just make sure that we are sharing the right screen. And I'm not sure. Yep, it looks like we are. Okay. Sorry for this interruption, but sometimes my technology gives me challenges, and I want to make sure that you're being able to see what I can see. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. What I showed you is just a little bit of the power of what we can do now. We've gotten a whole bunch of new functionality with something called Actionetics, which allows us to build action funnels that we can send messenger bots, which you may or may not have heard of those, but it allows us to send messages to people's phones through Facebook messaging and through Facebook, or they're called bots, chat bots. And we can automate some of your customer service and some of your communications using that. We can make a series of emails to build on your relationship. They're called action funnels. And that's just a series of communications that you can use and we can customize for you to communicate and build your relationship with your customers. There's all kinds of cool things we can do with that we couldn't even do 6 months ago when we first started talking about this and creating this for restaurants and bars. But if anybody's done what you want to do before, then you know it's possible for you. So I've just showed you a couple simple things that we can do with the power of funnels and with Customers Catcher, but there is so much more. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Wrong button. So secret number 2, how to put your customer catching on autopilot with the push of a button. So simple, even my 2-year-old granddaughter could do it. And again, there's another picture of her. I just like to show her off because I think she's amazing. But now you know how to do it. You know, she could do it. And I know she can do it because she can run a remote control car now. So if a 2-year-old can do it, you could definitely do it too. And we're here to help you know exactly how to customize it and what to do and what to say and what to put where and when to send out communications and what kind of a system to build. All the things that people have questions about. We've done it for hundreds of restaurants and we know what works and we know what doesn't. And so we can shortcut that process and get you to success fast. So let's jump into secret number 3. This is actually my favorite for a lot of personal reasons. It's called How to Bulletproof Your Restaurant no matter how many new joints open up in your area. And I've got a tale of 2 bars and 2 restaurants. They're both bar-restaurant combinations. And bar 1 I've been associated with for a really long time. And for about 6 years, they were the king of the hill. I know the owner really well. And they, no matter what they did, people flocked to their business automatically because they were the big dog in town. And all of a sudden, bar number 2 opened up with a bigger, better, nicer place and started to get all of bar number 1's customers. Bar number 1's owner started to freak out and do stupid things for his business. And luckily, I was able to work with him and bring his head back into the game and help him to realize that it was okay. We were going to figure this out. We were going to get the customers he wanted back, and everything would work out fine. Because the fact that bar number 2 opened in our town was a really good sign. It meant that there was plenty of business for there to be more than one bar in our town or one bar restaurant in our town. Now, like I said, I think a few minutes ago, in my small town, there's over 100 places to eat. That's crazy if you knew the population. It's crazy that there's that many places, but there are, and they're all always busy. That's a really interesting thing. But by going through the process of identifying who bar number 1 wanted for his customers, because before when he had everybody, it wasn't always awesome. Friday and Saturday nights sometimes got really rough. I mean, there would be fights, 21-year-olds and testosterone. Those weren't really all the customers he wanted. The guys that pulled the urinal off the wall or throw up in the bathroom or throw up in the hallway where people have to walk. I mean, it was sometimes ugly. So what I got him to realize is that he didn't really want all the customers back from bar number 2. He just wanted his ideal best customers back from bar number 2. So he wanted groups like these pretty girls in the bar number 1 picture coming so that then the nice money spending, calm but fun guys would come to his bar, but not necessarily the ones that were in, testosterone overload, drunk induced frenzy of bad behavior. Windows get broken, things get pulled off the ceiling. We had lots of drama in that whole fiasco, but he knew that. And what we did is we got his customers coming back to him, but just the ideal ones, not everybody. And he got super busy again. Bar 2 was still busy. They didn't even know that we had gotten some of his customers back. I mean, they might have noticed, but they never said anything. So we are cool with that. And it's a good thing we did this work because in the next 9 months, 7 more new restaurants opened up in our town. And I know that he was stressing out and having heart symptoms and panic attacks. And that if we hadn't done the work with him on this first place when bar number 2 came into town, I guarantee he would have been out of business over the next 9 months because he never would have been able to handle that there were now 8 new places competing in the town where before he had the monopoly. So where are they getting their traffic? Does anybody else want to know that? I did. So I go to 2 of my favorite places. I already shared SEMrush, but there's another cool place called SimilarWeb. And you can get so much information from these different sites. And I thought, my small little town, it's not going to have any information on restaurants online for me to get from these. So I just plugged in a couple of the restaurants in my area. I know we've got a Panera Bread, Applebee's, did I pull it? I got to use my magnifying glass. Starbucks, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Wendy's. I threw Wendy's there because I don't really do much in the fast food space. We've got a lot of fast food restaurants, so I thought it would be fun to see what kind of data is out there for all these different type restaurants. Again, so much information available. It's really crazy. You can find out when we're looking at where people's customers are coming from, it's called traffic. And so we want to find out, where are they spending money? Are they spending money on ads, or is all their traffic just coming naturally to them through word of mouth and other things like that, or people driving by? That's organic reach. Or from Facebook ads, that's kind of considered organic reach too, although it's got a whole category called social now as well. But it shows us for each of these competitors where their traffic is coming from. It's a channel overview of where their traffic's coming from. You can also see all the ads that are successful and how successful they are, actual snippets of the ads. So for example, these are some ads for Panera. So if your ideal customer is the same as Panera Bread's ideal customer, you can actually go and model their ads. How cool is that? So no more reinventing the wheel. Find what works and do that. Now don't copy it, but do something similar to it, because that will ensure that you're starting off closer to success. You're still going to have to test and tweak and figure it out, but you're starting out in a much better position than if you were just guessing. So now I know things. I know where my competitors are advertising. I know what they're saying. I know who they're going after with their targeting. I know what their ads look like. So I know exactly what to do. Back to that whole strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats thing. It shows me what I need to do to be competitive and what I need to do to offer my best clients, my favorite clients, the people I really want to serve. I know what to offer them because I know what they want. So I know how to give them more of that and get them coming to my place. This is just some screenshots of some, the web presence of some restaurants in my area, which I got to tell you, one of them is really good. A couple of them are national chains, and I would expect them to be good. One's good, one's okay. The other two are abysmal websites. They're not even really websites. They're just presence on someone else's menu network. That is no way to run your business. If you are counting on social media and posting on social media and the review sites like Yelp or Foursquare, you are in big trouble, because all it takes is one customer or one competitor who goes and pretends to be a customer to fill out a bad review or to put a scathing thing on social media, and you can be out of business overnight. I am not overstating this. This is very, very dangerous and scary. You have got to create your own presence on the internet. And restaurants are so not doing that. It makes me nervous. So a couple of key things. The best performing restaurants, as I studied and did a little market research in my area, I found that they are doing something. The best ones are not doing nothing. They're doing something. They're either modeling the best in the restaurant industry or they're modeling the best in other industries. They're looking at other industries, they're seeing what works, and they're applying it to their restaurant. That is what we have to do in today's world. We can't just sit back and let things happen around us and hope. It's called hope marketing. I call it hope marketing. Hope that customers will find us. Hope that if we build it, they will come. That is one of the biggest lies of all time that has been stretched out from a movie. If you build it, they will come. No, they won't. So they're also doing, the most successful restaurants are also doing some form of engagement and customer catching on autopilot. They're automatically capturing people's names and emails so that they can communicate with them in the future, or nowadays, more and more often, their cell phone numbers so they can send them messages through Messenger and Messenger bots. But the sad, sad truth is most of the competition, most of the restaurants out there are still doing nothing. Nothing. But depending on a couple of review sites, or they've got somebody in their company, usually somebody that they're not even paid to do it, that's posting on social media maybe once a day or once a week. Not a good strategy. So if I model what works, I get my best customers coming to me on autopilot. If I get them visiting more often, spending more, and bringing their friends, I get to watch your restaurant and bar thrive. We're getting about 2 to 4 customers a day in our automated online system, Customers Catcher. I love repeat happy people who like being associated with our little wine bar. I just do not even think about competition anymore. We love our customers now. Wine, don't whine is our motto. Wanda Washington. And Wanda is actually one of those people that funded her entire startup by pre-selling memberships to her wine bar. So she pre-sold memberships to help start her wine bar, and she's began her business in profit from day one. How many of you would like to do that? How many of you would like to add another couple of income streams? And we're talking pretty much passive income streams, because you put it out there. Now, when people come into your restaurant, you're going to have to serve them food. You're going to have to serve them drinks. You're going to have to take care of them and give them a good experience. That's a given. But if you can get them coming in and communicate with them and continue to build that relationship on autopilot, how much more powerful is that? It's crazy powerful. Works every time. So you might be thinking, competition, God, that used to be scary, but I'm not really feeling that scared anymore. See what you're able to do with this to make it so that it just doesn't matter if there's more competitors. Because if you're doing the best you can and serving the people you want to serve the most to the best of your ability and giving them what they want better and more than anyone else, they will come to your door. Kind of becomes the difference between an abundance mentality and a scarcity mentality, which is one of the things that bar owner number one really had to wrap his head around, is that there's plenty of business to go around. We actually drove around one night so I could show him that every single business, and this was after all 8 of the new businesses had opened, every single one of them, including his, was swamped. They were all packed. They couldn't have taken really any more people. So it wasn't that there wasn't enough business to go around. It's just that that scarcity and there's not enough of the pie for all of us mentality that we're raised with. And it's a lie. So secret number 3, how to bulletproof your restaurant no matter how many new joints open up in your area. You now know how to do that. Again, a quick recap on the secrets: how to ethically steal your competitors' customers and they won't even know what hit them. How to put your customer catching on autopilot with the push of a button. So simple, my 2-year-old granddaughter can do it. And how to bulletproof your restaurant or bar no matter how many new joints open up in your area. If I model what works, if I give people what they want, they'll beat a path to my door and competition becomes irrelevant. So let me ask you a question. I've been talking really fast for a few minutes, and I hope that it's given you some ideas and some insight into what's possible for your restaurant and for your business. I have created a really special offer, and I want to know if you would like to hear about it. I know how powerful it is and what it can do for your business. And so I guess I'd like your permission to share it with you if you're interested. If a couple of you could comment in the comments box, that would be awesome. And I will sneak a drink of my red drink. Sorry about the crunchy bottle and spilling it all over me. That's nice too. All right, a couple of you want to hear about it. So I'm going to kind of fly through this and tell you what we've put together for you. And basically, it is a way to get all of your customer handling on autopilot, except when they come into your restaurant. You still got to take care of them. You have to give them a good experience. You have to serve them food. That is the basis of your business, but that's also your zone of genius. That's what your business does. Your business feeds people and gives them a good experience. And we want to automate as much of the rest of running that business as we can. We've created what is called Customers Catcher. And this is a slide for agencies. Sorry. We need to enlist the help of other agencies to help us provide this for more restaurant and bar owners, because what I'm finding is most of you want somebody to just do this for you. And there aren't enough people in our organization right now. So we're doing a call for agency owners in case they want to offer this as a service to businesses like yours in the future. So what are you going to get as part of Customer Catcher? Well, first, a 6-week customer catching masterclass. And it includes everything you need to create all of your customer handling on autopilot and to attract customers, to catch them and get them coming into your restaurant, to erase the competition, to captivate them and wow them. Make sure that when they're coming to your place, they have the same amazing wow experience every single time. We're going to really dive deep into the customer experience and how we plan that out so that they get a predictable, wonderful experience every time. It's the old thing. McDonald's doesn't have the best food, but people know what to expect from McDonald's anywhere in the world when they go to a McDonald's. They expect kind of low quality food, but fast, hot, edible, barely edible, but it's the same experience no matter where you go, no matter which unit you go to, you get that same experience. And we want to make sure that your customers get the same awesome experience every time they come to your place. And that requires some thinking about it and planning, not just winging it. Let's be honest. How many of you just wing some stuff in your business? I'm raising my hand because there's a lot of things I used to wing in my business. And I learned that after I had to wing it a couple of times, I would turn it into a system and a predictable process so I knew it would come out right every single time. Customer communications, again, I briefly touched on something called Actionetics, and all of the automatic email sequences and communication sequences we have pre-built for you are all part of this. And then customers for life. Our goal is to create customers for life. Have you ever sat down and figured out the lifetime value of a customer? Well, let me tell you something. I have. The average lifetime value of a customer, say your average ticket price is $100. That means that the lifetime value of that customer is $6,000 or more dollars, depending on what else you sell them and what other services you provide for them. So when we're talking about getting 10 new customers to your business, we're not just talking about, $1,000. We're talking about $60,000. Now, makes it a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? The lifetime value of the customer. And I recently had this discussion with my Ford dealer because they gave me a hard time about something. And I've always been a Ford buyer. I bought a lot of Ford vehicles. And I just asked the manager who was giving me a hard time, I said, well, have you ever thought about the lifetime value of me as a customer? And he said, no. And I said, well, I personally have spent about $350,000 on Ford vehicles. And Fords aren't that expensive. That means I've had a lot of Fords. Now, that doesn't take into account all of the Fords my dad bought, my uncle, my ex-husband, my brother-in-law, my aunts and uncles. We've spent millions of dollars with the Ford brand, and I will never buy another Ford again. Long story. It's got nothing to do with this, but I did have that discussion because when you're a business owner, you have to really take into consideration the lifetime, what's a customer worth to me? It's not about just getting new people in the door all the time. The goal is to satisfy them, make them happy, and make them part of your family forever. The average lifetime or the average stay of, according to research, is that a customer will stay and come to your business for 5 years. Now, I know there's restaurants I've been going to for 5 years. There's restaurants I've been going to on a regular basis for 25 years. I mean, I always wanted people to come to my business for the rest of their life. And that should be all of our objective. It isn't always, but if you're in business for the long term, that's what we want to do. We want to consider that lifetime value of that customer and make sure that we're treating them like they're that valuable to us, because they are. Our repeat customers are our livelihood. They're the lifeblood of our businesses. Although we spend most of our time chasing after the new customer, a repeat customer is 10 times more valuable to us than a new customer, because a repeat customer is more likely to come back more often, bring their friends, tell other people. They're just extremely valuable. So let's stop my rampage and talk about Alicia's story. She says, with Customer Catchers, we've got 23 new customers our first week. Now that we have the Customer Catcher perfected, we are on track to get 100 new customers this month. I never thought it would work for my little cafe. Alicia Keller. Oh, this is not my touchscreen. And I totally missed who this is for, but it's the same as the slide before that has all the different type restaurants on it. Jackie's story, I used Customer Catcher to buy my restaurant. She actually bought a resort restaurant that she was the manager at. She got it under contract, and then she learned how to, and she used what we taught her to double the average nightly sales for the restaurant. And that covers the entire mortgage that she's paying to buy that out. Oh, I love George. I've never had an actual business before Angles. I followed Sharon's instructions, set up a Customer Catcher, and my first try sold 17 people on my front end offer, which is a free plan. But 4 people bought his $247 upsell package. So yeah, he only made like $1,000, but guess what? He got 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 new customers, right? On his first try. How many of you would like 21 new customers on your first try and $1,000? Yes, all day long. I was not sure Customer Catcher would work for my business or me, but since it was guaranteed, I had nothing to lose. I set it up and forgot about it. 2 weeks later, I checked it out and was flabbergasted. I wonder where all the new folks were coming from. Kim White. Kim's a friend of mine from the Italian food manufacturing business, and she actually has a liquor store and a liquor business, not a restaurant. But that just goes to show you it works for other things, not just restaurants. So let me ask you a question. And it's perfectly okay. You don't have to comment in the comments box or anything because I kind of already know the answer. Do you have a customer handling system? Do you have a handwritten one? Do you have a Rolodex? Does anybody still use a Rolodex? Do you have people's customer information in any way, shape, or form? Do you collect any of that? Are you having any sort of customer handling system? Yes or no? Well, from my research, 90+% of you don't have anything. And so I decided I'm going to make the Blue Plate Special the bonus for today. And I'm going to give this to everybody to make sure you start out right. And if you've already got a system started, to make sure that you've got all the components that are essential in your basic customer handling system. I want to make sure you do it right. I want to make sure that you've got it created for your bar and restaurant. And so that you know what to do. So if you get nothing else out of this webinar, you at least know how to set up a customer capturing, customer information system so that you've got the ability to re-communicate with your customers. So you've got the ability to build relationships with them. And now that you know the lifetime value of a customer, you want to do that, right? So what are you going to get? Again, this 6-week Customer Catcher Masterclass, that's a $4,997 value. So what else are you going to get? Well, you need the tools to make all of the information work, right? And so you can build a system and have the system for your business. You're going to get your very own Customer Catcher Swiss Army knife. So what do our Customer Catcher members get? I call it the Customer Catcher Silver Platter membership. You're going to get everything that you need to put your customer catching on autopilot. All the components of the 6-week masterclass, plus there's a bonus lesson. We've added a bonus lesson just to tie everything up. How to attract, communicate, manage the experience, reward your customers, wow your customers, and create customers for life. You're also going to get, and we are not a reseller or anything of ClickFunnels, but you'll get a 14-day free trial to the ClickFunnels software. That is sold by Edison Suites. Even as a certified partner, I know how to work it. I know how to make it work for everybody, but I do not sell it. I do not resell it. It's a totally separate company. I want to be very clear about that. So you'll be able to do all these things on autopilot. Attract new customers to your restaurant. Get customers to come back to your place whenever you want. You get to set it up by doing the cool thing we call by setting up a membership site. You get to determine how often they're going to come back to your place. It'll increase how often your customers return. Just like Matilda, she's got them coming back 4 times a week because they want to get breakfast, lunch, dinner, and they want to get some of those desserts. So they're going to come back at least 4 times, sometimes more, just to take advantage because they're already a member. You can influence how much they spend by how you set up your membership area, your membership site, and how you do communication with them and special offers to them, just the members, through the automated communication system. You'll have your best customers spreading the word about your restaurant. Get to watch them bringing their friends to your establishment, getting them to sign up for their own membership, watch your sales and your profits soar. You'll also be able to get rid of a whole lot of junk that you didn't probably like doing. Like for us, ClickFunnels made it possible we could get rid of all the other tools and things and website stuff that was impossible for me to figure out how to work. And I got sick of paying all the other people that were running all of these different programs and things. Not only did I have to pay for the service, because you'd have to pay for the email autoresponder, the shopping cart and everything, but I also had to pay for the people to run those things because I didn't know how to do them. I knew how to do a couple things, but Photoshop, no. WordPress, a little bit. Website hosting, no. I fought with that and I was in tears over that more times than I care to admit. All of that gone. Also, got to get rid of all of my customer handling worries, all my fear over competition, worry about profitability, cash flow, sales trouble, because this system helps to level out and bring in more cash up front. Customers for life became my goal for my businesses, and I hope it will become the goal for yours. Instead of focusing on the short term, what's going on and food costs. You got to pay attention to those things. But what really matters is customers coming in and coming back to your business. Because if we don't have customers, we don't have a business, right? Customer Catcher solved all of these things for me. So all by myself, I can now create an entire, and I put year long, but it can be as long as you want, customer handling system that runs on autopilot in a couple of hours for the price of a burger out a day. And you might be thinking, well, what happens after a year? Well, I shouldn't have put a year on that slide, because you can create out, or you can cycle through, and this is to do with your communications, your autoresponder messages, the messages and the relationship building, and the emails or chatbot messages that you're sending out to your customers. You can make that for as long as you want, or you can repeat it, or as short as you want, or as general as you want, or as specific as you want, or as detailed as you want. It's totally customizable, which makes it fun and awesome and perfect for your business, just like it's perfect for my business and everybody else's, because we get to customize it. You might be thinking, I'm not technical, right? Well, guess what? You don't have to create that. You don't have to do it at all. You can have someone else do it for you. George, who's like less technical than me, his fiance did it. I would say about 60% of our Customer Catcher customers have someone else besides the business owner actually build out what's called the funnel, the sales funnel, and the technical side of it. You know, because you're probably thinking, I already don't have time. I'm swamped. Again, I'm wearing all these hats. I can't possibly do this. And guess what? You don't have to. And you might be saying, I don't even want to. Even if I could probably figure it out, but I don't want to. I have other things I want to do. I want to go to the kids' softball games. I want to go on a date with my significant other. I want to have some fun because I haven't had fun for a long time, like since I started my business, because I'm already doing too much. Well, this will free you up and allow you to do that. So again, what are you going to get? The 6-week Customer Catcher Masterclass, the $4,997 value, and then the Customer Catcher software. That's a $3,564 value. It's a total value of $8,561. So what else do you need? How about more stuff done for you, like communications, promos, ads, events, pre-written things for your business that you can customize and use? You're going to be able to steal our entire swipe file. I call this the Customer Catcher Killer Communications. And in that, you've got all of our cheat sheets, all of our lumpy mail, because we have had some really successful lumpy mail campaign. And I learned some secrets over the years. Actually, in the real estate industry is where we had the most successful ones. And I transitioned that learning into my brick and mortar restaurant and bar businesses. My swipe files of what's worked. I'll share with you what didn't work so that you don't do it. Or if you decide to do it, you'll know how to make some changes so that you can make sure those campaigns are successful for you. But all of our done for you customizable emails, texts, everything you need to hit the ground running and make sure that you get all of this on autopilot. You can set this all up or have someone set it up for you and get everything you need to be able to handle your customers. So Customer Catcher Killer Communications, if you want a consistent customer engagement and a steady stream of customers beating a path to your door on autopilot, then this is for you. So what are you going to get? 6-week Customer Catcher Masterclass, $4,997 value. The Customer Catcher software, a $3,564 value. And the Customer Catcher Killer Communications, a $1,997 value. It's a total value of $10,558. I love teaching people how to cook, but I hate selling. I spent a few minutes editing the email and text message series for attracting new customers. We have a bunch of different series, and one of them is attracting new customers. One of them is maintaining the relationship. I can't remember all their names, but we've got different series for whatever it is, whatever outcome you want with your customer. You can just plug into that particular email series or text message series via Messenger bot. And filled all my classes for this fall. I was struggling to keep the doors open before coming across Customer Catcher. I'm so glad I did. Now I'm thinking about adding another instructor, Tina Tully. Tina's actually added 3 instructors and is teaching full time. What more will help you? What else do you need? How about a ninja? I love ninjas. Ever since my kids were little, I've loved ninjas. Not killer ninjas, but like cute, fun ninjas, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ninjas. Customer Catcher Ninja is all about experience, engaging your customers, captivating them, and keeping them coming back for more. Customer Catcher Ninja, you might be thinking, well, isn't it wrong to spy on the competition? Isn't it wrong to use ninja tricks and hacks or whatever else they call it these days, you young people? to get more business? And I'm going to say no, it's just good business. Running your business as smartly and efficiently and as effectively as you can is just plain smart business. It doesn't hurt your competition to do a better job running your place. But again, the ninja knows stuff, and with great power comes great responsibility. So I'm going to ask that you use these ninja tactics and tricks and strategies to make your restaurant awesome, but you don't use it to hurt anybody else. The ninja knows shortcuts and hacks to winning. He or she, you can have whatever kind of ninja you want. I like the she ninjas, but you can have some he ninjas if you want. Teaches us a lot of stuff. Customers vote with their wallets. Customers will go to whoever is providing them the best service and meeting their needs the best. Excuse me. I've had like a 2-week tickle, but it's not allergies. I say it's not allergies. Again, a repeat customer is much cheaper than a new one. Customer is not always right. And I can tell you stories about that, which I do in the training. I've got some big, bad customer horror stories that I want you to learn from. You can pick and choose your customers. Guess what? We don't always think we can. A lot of times we get into the trap of thinking we have to serve everyone. No, you don't. You can pick and choose and attract the customers you want, the people you love working with. So you love the time that you spend at your business. You don't dread it because you're not sure what kind of problem or issue you're going to have today. Your business is entirely up to you. So what are you going to get? 6-week Customer Catcher Masterclass, $4,997 value. Customer Catcher software, a $3,564 value. Customer Catcher Killer Communications, a $1,997 value, and the Customer Catcher Ninja, a $1,997 value. It's a total value of $12,555. But wait, there's more. After this story from Kevin, the Ninja helped me put 107 people into our Customer Catcher in 45 days. We focused on the customer's experience and made sure it was amazing. Making sure people have a great time at our place keeps them coming back for more. That and the world's best desserts. Kevin has one of those amazing dessert restaurants. Oh my God. I think I gained 10 pounds just by standing outside the door, much less when I go in. And the last thing you're going to need, what else do you need to make sure that this will work for your business? How about a competition eraser? Customer Catcher's competition eraser. Who else wants to make their competition disappear as if by magic? Well, if you do exactly what we do, you can leave your competition eating your dust. Now, we're going to go after your best customers only. We're going to give them exactly what they want. We're going to value them, acknowledge them, pay attention to them, make sure they know how much we love and appreciate them and that they're part of our family and we want them coming back for more, and the game's over. There is no competition. We might be thinking, won't my competition get mad? Won't the competitors get mad if I'm getting all this business? Again, I don't think they're going to notice. For the most part, at least in my small town, there are 100 different businesses. Everybody's so busy just running their own restaurant. They don't really have time to pay attention to other people's businesses and what's going on with them. People are going to talk about my business. I get that a lot. And I'm like, guess what? People are going to talk about you if you're a business owner. People are going to talk about you if you're a person. Anyway, people do that. People are weird. They live vicariously through other people. So if they're going to talk about you, let's give them something to talk about that's an example versus being a lesson. That's my philosophy. I hope that's your philosophy too. Be the example of what you want to show up in the world. My family and friends are going to think I'm doing something illegal. Don't know if I can help you with this. If your family and friends don't know you better than that, or unless you are doing something illegal, then you shouldn't have to worry about this. And then there's a whole slew of what ifs. I get a lot of what ifs. What if the laws change? What if the government does this? What if taxes? What if chairs? What if the vendor can't get something I need? And we deal with all those things. But bottom line, if you have a steady stream of customers coming into your business, repeat customers coming back, pre-sold things, you don't have to worry about any of those what ifs. Whatever happens, you'll figure it out and your business will survive and thrive. The competition eraser was just what I needed for my restaurant clients. The Customer Catcher has allowed us to reallocate people to higher return activities. Now one person manages customers for all our sites, 22 and growing. We used to have one person per location. So Mike O'Brien was able, he has a restaurant consultancy, and they were able to condense to having just one person, and they have actually 25 sites now, that manages 25 locations for their customer handling. They used to have one person per site doing this. So what are you going to get? 6-week Customer Catcher Masterclass, a $4,997 value. Customer Catcher Software, a $3,564 value. Customer Catcher Killer Communications, a $1,997 value. Customer Catcher Ninja, a $1,997 value. And the Customer Catcher Competition Eraser, also a $1,997 value. It's a total value of $14,552. So if all this did was finally get you just 10 new customers a day, and the math nerd in me did the math, that would be a minimum of $39,000 extra income above and beyond what you're making right now just by having a customer catcher. Would it be worth it? If all this did was help you to share your place with more people, would it be worth it? If all this did was give you the ability to cancel all the monthly tools you're currently using to glue together customer catching activities, assuming you're doing something that is, would it be worth it? If all this did was let you get some things off of your plate so you can actually enjoy the reason or reasons that you started your business in the first place, would it be worth it? That was my number one driver. I wanted some of my time and some of my life back. So I had two choices. First option, I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, but there really wasn't much incentive for me to really stack on the value. The second option requires a little bit higher investment, but in exchange, I can devote more resources to guarantee your success. So what's getting customers to come to you on autopilot worth to you? There's only 3 ways to make more money in any business. Get new customers, sell more to existing customers, increase how much customers spend. How much would you pay to get this happening for your place automatically? What would it be worth to you? Can you see the value in that and how it would change the way you look at and run your day-to-day business? This customer catcher cost me $429,000, more than $450 actually, and that was just in medical expenses. But it made me $797,981 in one day and millions of dollars up to that day. So to me, it was worth it. So you can see why people are paying us $25K plus 10% of the profits up to $250,000 for bigger chains to set up their customer catcher for them. You can see why it's a good deal at $5,000. It's available right now to the general public for $2,997. But because you're here listening to me stumble through my webinar and deal with technology, I want to make you a special offer today. You can get started now for just $987. Just go to customerscatcher.com/go. www.customerscatcher.com/go. You'll have to open that in a new tab, but go ahead and check it out. So again, quickly, what are you going to get? 6-week Customer Catcher Masterclass, a $4,997 value. Customer Catcher Software and the ClickFunnels free trial, a $3,564 value. Customer Catcher Killer Communications, $1,997 value. Customer Catcher Ninja, $1,997 value. Customer Catcher Competition Eraser, a $1,997 value. It's a total value of $14,552. But in addition to that, you will get lifetime access to our private Customers Catcher Facebook group. You get it free with your investment today. So you can do it now or you can do nothing. Now you have 2 choices. Your first option is to do nothing, not take this little leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free, by the way. And what will your business and life be like if you do that, if you decide to do nothing? Your second option is to pony up the small investment today compared to all the value you'll get in return and just give it a shot. If I can't make you money, then I don't deserve yours. I 100% totally and firmly believe this. If this isn't going to work for you, I don't want your money. Oh, I definitely don't want to see her on my screen. Sorry. 30-day guarantee. You can sign up today if you don't like it for any reason. And I don't care if it's 29 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes from now or from when you sign up. Just let me know and we'll give you your money back. I always want to make sure it's something that's working for you. Now, you got to do it. You got to put it in place. You have to use it for your business, right? Absolutely. Because why wouldn't you? The real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which if it does even half of what I've claimed today on this training, and you've seen that it does, will pay for itself as soon as you get your first customers coming to your place on autopilot. Remember, lifetime value of a customer, $6,000, $6,000. So one new customer pays for this 6 times over, right? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So what are you going to get? 6-week Customer Catcher Masterclass, $4,997 value. Customer Catcher software and the ClickFunnels free trial, a $3,564 value. Customer Catcher Killer Communications, a $1,997 value. Customer Catcher Ninja, a $1,997 value. Customer Catcher Competition Eraser, a $1,997 value. It's a total value of $14,552. For the first 17 people, we are doing something very, very special. We are going to do a live weekly Q&A. Get your specific questions answered on these one-time only live Q&A calls. We'll be recording the calls and putting them in the members area, but we're only going to do them this one time live because it takes a lot of time and energy to do these live calls. And I say they're going to be an hour, but they always end up being like 3 or 4. And so in order to carve that time out of my schedule, I have to make sure that we limit the number of people. I can handle 20 people on a Zoom call. If it gets over 20, it gets a little unruly and hard to answer everybody's questions. I want to make sure if you're one of those first 17 people, you do get your questions answered. So if you already have a successful restaurant or bar business, guess what? And if you're looking for more customers, if you've been struggling in any way, then you really need this. If you don't have a restaurant or bar yet, but you know that there's one or more in your future, then you need this too so you can start off on the right foot. Frankly, if you have any type of business or you want to have one, then this is for you. This is how you set it up and get it working right. Every business needs customers, right? I can't think of a single business that doesn't need customers to exist. So I've shown you some really powerful things today. First, that the only way for you to exponentially grow your restaurant and bar business, your sales and profits, is through handling your customers on autopilot. And the only way to automate your customer handling is to use this customer's catcher. I love this graphic. The chance of success goes from 0%. You're not going to succeed if you say I won't, or you don't do anything, but it's 100% guaranteed when you do it and you say I did. I have a secret special bonus, but this is for the first 30 people only. And I'm not sure when this is going to go away because I got special permission from the team I'm working on. We're creating a mobile app called Hop. And we have, as part of that, platinum business membership accounts for free. They're $1,000 a month. And if you're one of the first 30 people, you will get early access, beta testing, and a 6-month membership as a platinum business account holder on this new app. That is probably going to go away. That one, I'm not sure how long I can do that, but I know that it's capped at 30. So if you want this, you need to be one of the first 30 people to sign up today. To get started now, all you have to do, $9.97 today, one-time payment. Again, there's a recap in the upper left-hand corner of what you're going to get. I would like to stay on the line and ask some questions. I'm probably going to leave this and go to my Be Live so I can actually see the questions with my magnifying glass and answer them. But again, www.customercatcher.com/go. If I get off and I haven't answered your question, you can just go ahead to support@customerscatcher.com and ask any questions you have, and I will be glad to answer them. I want to make sure you get all of your questions answered before you go ahead with us. The main question I get from everybody is, do you have a payment plan? And I'm going to give you my philosophy on this and my reasoning for this, and it's a couple fold. Number one, I've been involved in a lot of coaching programs and a lot of high ticket different programs in my life and in my career. And what I've learned, and I've been in just some regular price ones. I consider this a regular price one. And what I've learned is that people that pay attention. People that pay up front pay attention way more than people that pay for payment plans. It's really easy to say, oh, I only paid $100 this month. Therefore, it's no big deal if I don't do anything. And all of a sudden they're, 12 months down the road and they haven't ever done anything. They haven't ever created their customer catcher. But if they had the first month, they would have created it and they would have made 6 times their money back. But instead they justified to themselves and made excuses about being busy and about how they couldn't get anybody else to get it done for them, to listen to the classes or whatever and get it done or work with us to get it done. And 6 months, 12 months down the road, they're in the exact same boat that they were when they first heard my voice on this webinar, on this web class. I don't want that to be you. However, a couple other options. I always say MasterCard and Visa have a payment plan. If your business is in so much trouble that you cannot do $1,000, you need this more than anyone else that's hearing my voice right now. That to me is a very scary position to be in. I'm just telling it to you straight. But as a business owner, if you can't do $1,000 to make $6 in your business, you are in bigger trouble and you have bigger problems than just getting more customers can solve for you. The other option is PayPal credit in the United States only offers 6 months, no interest, no payments if a purchase is over $99. Well, this is $9.97, so it's over $99. So if your credit is approved, that's an option for people as well, but just in the United States. I want to thank you for joining us today. I really appreciated it. I appreciate you listening to my cloggy throat and my coughing and my sniffling and all the other goofy things, the dogs barking. That makes, it fun. It's real life. But I feel so honored that I'm able to come and talk to you today and that you can hear this message and know that there is help out there for you and your business to make your life easier. I wish somebody would have had this for me a couple years ago when my life was a struggle. Don't delay. Start your customer catcher today. Again, you can get started now by going to www.customerscatcher.com/go. You do not need the capital C's. And I do see that I have a wrong link on here. I've got a ClickFunnels link, which is hilarious. I'm going to have to change that. That's it. I'm going to pop back over to Be Live. Stop my screen sharing. Get me back on here. And see if we've got any questions. Magnifying glass. Ross, I love you, bud. All right, gang. I am going to sign off. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them below this video. I will check them periodically and go ahead and answer them. I am here if you need anything or if you need any advice on what to do about any aspect of your restaurant or bar. I am actually really, really good at that, and not just getting customers. Operationally, anything you need or you have a question about in your restaurant or bar, just give me a shout and I will let you know what I know. Have an awesome day, and I will see you soon. Bye.